Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tale Act 2. My name is Dennis Miranda, and I am the Executive Director of the Woodford Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge. And thank you for joining us on this rather cloudy spring day. But the birds are alive and well. We have singing chipping sparrow and rufous-sided towhees and all sorts of other birds that point to the fact that even though it's kind of cool and nippy today, we're going to warm up. For nearly 70 years, the Woodford Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge has been protecting our habitat here at the refuge, capturing and restoring and releasing animals such as wild foxes and squirrels, barred owls, what have you. Last year alone, we rehabbed, cared for, and released over 5,000 animals. And for untold decades, we have educated thousands of kids, thousands of families, and the wonderful residents, businesses of this region, including Medford Township. 70 years later, we are experiencing what are the worst experiences we've had in our lifetimes. The loss of life, the loss of our economy, the way of life that we've known during this pandemic has changed the way we view our world. We have lost loved ones, we have family that have been ill, and yet here at the Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge, we soldier on. We have, and we've never turned away any animal that is injured, maimed, or ill. We keep a skeletal staff even as the Nature Center is closed. Our trails are open to the public at large as long as they practice the safety protocols by the CDC, social distancing, wearing gloves, and wearing masks. Since nature doesn't stop for anyone, the work we do here doesn't stop because of nature or whatever happens to us. We are facing the most challenging fiscal issues related to our history since the beginning. With the closure of schools, the closure of public gatherings, the normal revenue that the Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge enjoys from the programs that we run has also dried up. And like most Americans, this refuge has been a rather frugal operation, living paycheck to paycheck from one program to another program. As we face a stark contrast to our past, today we ask you, the public at large, to continue supporting the work that we do, recognizing that while the pandemic is here today, it will dissipate, we will recover, and we will move on. For us to do here at the refuge, we're asking for you, the residents, the businesses, the support of the public in this region, to support the work that we do in this most challenging of fiscal times. We say that because our work will always go on. And the work was needed 70 years ago, it was needed last year, and it will be needed in the future. We are here in Medford Township, where we all regard and take pride in the fact that we are the gateway to the Pine Barrens. In fact, the Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge was here even before they had the preserved Pine Barrens. Mr. and Mrs. Woodford, who founded the place in the 50s, were among the earliest advocates for the Pine Barrens preservation decades before it was realized. It is because of their work and their legacy that we continue that work here today. We have a staff of 10 full-timers, over 20 part-timers, and volunteers in the hundreds. We count on thousands of supporters throughout the course of the year, and we're all committed and love where we are. The Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge is still today a destination for the public. Because of cabin fever being contained, coming out here on certain weekdays and weekends, our 3.5 miles of trail are open to the public. The 60 some odd exclosures containing all sorts of wildlife and birds that cannot be released back into the wild because of their disabilities and handicaps are here for all to see, to learn about our fauna, to learn about what these wildlife means in the larger landscape of the Pine Barrens. And we look at this with an eye towards saying, I would love to have the experience of knowing these animals in the wild. Seeing them in their exclosures, we get to have a close, intimate understanding of how a barred owl will gawk at you, how a peregrine falcon will nimbly fly from one perch to another. And of course, we have more gray squirrels than we need, but we need to protect them and work for them as well. At the end of the day, we rely on the support of the public. In the 70 almost years of business, we have never relied on the public dole. We get grants from corporations, we get donations of grants from foundations, and we rely on the generosity of major donors to make us go. But today, as I said earlier, we are facing a challenge of sorts. We have reached out to a wide variety of supporters to continue supporting the work that we do, and we look forward to asking the representatives of the Medford Township Council to support the work that we do here as well. Even though we've applied for the Payroll Protection Program application and the money ran out even before application was considered, we feel that a donation of $100,000 by the Township of Medford's Open Space Trust Fund would help us go for a number of months here in late spring to early summer. Since 1998, Medford Township has had a stable source of funding for open space. So 3 cents for every $100 of your real assessed value contributes to a fund that generates $730,000 per year, of which $597,000 are used to pay debt service on previous bonding for open space, and $200,000 goes towards the salaries of employees in Medford Township related to the protection, management, and maintenance of public land here in Medford. But with $3.5 million sitting in a trust fund at the township, while we're undergoing the worst of the pandemic, I think it would be appropriate, if not expected, that providing the nature programs, the environmental education, the opportunity to engage open space, to have the programs that we have here, would be something that can be supported by Medford Township Council. We have been a fabric, an embroidered fabric of the community for 70 years almost, and because of these dire consequences and where we are, we look forward for the council providing support for us in the near future. If you look at the Medford Township website related to an agenda for tomorrow night's Medford Township Council meeting, there are hyperlinks there where you can both apply to Zoom in and to make commentary. We urge you to contact your representative and ask them to support the Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge in its greatest moment of need. This request for $100,000 will help us go in the near term for a short period of months until we get back into a more open society where the threats and concerns of the pandemic will have subsided, and in the post-pandemic new normal, we can develop the programs that educates the public on the environment, celebrates the life of nature here at the refuge, and restores the revenue streams that we've had in previous years. We look upon the mayor and council to support us at this dire time. We think with public support from the taxpayers, the residents, the business of Medford Township, it is they that can persuade the council to look at us as one of their own and support the programs, the employees, the economic activity it takes here, which knows no partisanship, knows no party. It's about the nature of the Pine Barrens, it's about the wildlife we celebrate, and it's about the fact that Cedar Run will be here in days, months, and years to come. Thank you very much, and let us know how we can be of more support for the community. Thank you.